welcome to the Voice of the Coast. I am your host, Danica. Along with me, we have Davey Lusco, who is the founder and director of Louisiana Retro Con. It's like a throwback to yesteryear's, kind of a, you mentioned it, nostalgia effect of having all of the old video games, comic books, action figures, and even a new edition of vinyl records and books, DVDs, and VCR tapes, cassette tapes. This is awesome. I'm loving it. Welcome back.
Thank you, ma'am. It's a pleasure to be back. Appreciate the invitation.
Awesome. Since first premiering it in Morgan City in September of last year, you have now decided to host it and keep it permanent in Morgan City. Why is that?
It's just a wonderful place. The outreach here has been fantastic compared to previous events. We've pulled in people from all across the state of Louisiana, even people coming from out of state to enjoy the event. So it's been wonderful for Morgan City, and I just appreciate the reception here. It's been wonderful.
And just actually, you're doing something a little bit more. You're adding more and more, and that's usually how it is. When you have a successful year, you decide, what can we do more? What can we do to increase and better the event? And you have. Kind of give us some of the new additions.
Sure. So we're going to be adding panels. That was one of the biggest first announcements. So it'd be little different talk sessions with people, Q&A sessions that they can talk with people. That'll be on the stage. We'll also have a band coming, which will be really exciting. There will be, we'll still be bringing back the cosplay contest, of course, but we'll also be for the first time having little celebrities. Not huge names, but some people that, you know, certain people in different fandoms know about. So that'll be exciting.
Well, we love the idea that you're hosting it here because, of course, for us, it's about economic development for our area, which means you bring in new people from out of the state, so they're going to stay here. Yeah. They're going to actually overnight because now you're also making it from a 1-day to a 2-day, March 2nd and March 3rd. So definitely plan now to bring the entire family because this is a family event.
Absolutely.
You know, back in the day, that's what my parents used to say, you know, back in the day, back in my day. And this is a great opportunity for dads and moms to say, this is what I used to play with. Come enjoy and kind of see where mom and dad come from, you know, what we used to play with. And I guess the kids love it. I mean, video games will never go out of style, right?
I wouldn't say.
And look at the response. This is just one picture. So in your mind, tell me what was your, when you saw the reception, what did you say to yourself?
It was honestly insane because I still remember there was one person that was a vendor. They're like, the doors are opening, get ready. And you could hear it there was a YouTube video that had that. It's like, oh my gosh. But yeah, we were not ready for that. The line was to the end of the parking lot. People had to park on the street to get there. It was crazy. Yeah. I wouldn't change it for the world. I was grateful for the reception we received.
But you definitely would change the number of volunteers, which is why you now have volunteer applications.
Yes, we do have those on the website, LouisianaRetroConvention.com it should be /application forms, I believe it is. But yeah, they can go apply today, and we do special little things for our volunteers. Everyone gets a t-shirt. We make sure everyone's fed every day. Everyone's taken care of like a family.
Awesome. So. That's exactly what it is, the family. And one of the really good, unique features that everyone really loved was playing the arcade games.
Yes.
And you saw lots of adults, children, teenagers who all enjoy that particular area. Is there going to be anything added for the arcade, like a newer feature maybe?
Well, I'm always adding new stuff. I actually got 2 bar top arcades that we'll be adding in to that area. Also, I have a Xbox Series S, which those are powerhouses for putting old retro games on. So we'll put probably 1,000 games on that. And then I also have our guy, Tunnel Time Arcades. He'll be bringing at least 2 new arcades to feature because he refurbishes old school cabinets. So that's pretty exciting.
Yes. Now, of course, when it comes to vendors, you said you're sold out?
Yes. We are completely sold out, and we're still having people sending in forms, but we're done.
And the thing is, you didn't just have, usually you had the ballroom. Now you have the entire facility.
Yes. Yes, so we have both concourses, the lobby. We even have the hallway where there'll be, there's like a little bar area. We'll have a nice coffee vendor. He'll be serving coffees and Red Bull drinks and Italian sodas.
You need that.
Oh, absolutely. Keep you going the whole day. It goes crazy.
Isn't that what video gaming is all about? Having a stock of like Red Bull and all those energy drinks?
I don't really partake in that, but you know, a lot of, they'll be up till 5 in the morning doing that.
Oh my goodness. Well, one of the things I definitely want the the community to take part in. You might say, okay, where do I go to get information? Well, there's a QR code that they can also use your phone off of the computer, your phone and your television, excuse me, or online. Where can they go online very quickly? Facebook?
Fastest would be www.louisianaretroconvention.com. That takes you to all of our socials and all the info.
Awesome. Come on back. We've got another round with Davey Lusco, who's the founder as well as director of Louisiana Retro Convention. Welcome back. My guest, Davey Lusco, who's the founder director with Louisiana Retro Con. You're having this in March, and it's going to be in the springtime. So lots of opportunity for folks to get out. It's going to be really good weather. And this is actually your second time in Morgan City. You're back because the reception was great. It was overwhelming. So now you've booked the entire facility. That's great. Lots of folks are there. What were some of the things that people in attendance were like, you know, this is great, but what if you add this? What are some of the additions they're looking for that they want to see?
Well, I know that people were really asking for panels last time. They wanted different events. And I really think that bands also will be something exciting to come listen to some music for a nice quick set.
Oh, great.
And I really feel like...
all-day affair.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's so much to do that at this time that I feel like you won't be able to do everything.
Yeah.
Even with 2 days, it still might not be enough.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
Yeah, there's going to be so much to do.
What about ATM? I mean, I know people love convenience.
So we will have ATMs on site this time. There's a local company that reached out, High Tech ATMs of Houma, Louisiana. Okay. So that small business will be helping us out for this.
So everything's going to be on site. You'll be able to shop. You'll be able to, you know, you need some money, you ain't got to leave.
That's
right. Food.
We're going to have food trucks again.
Okay.
We're actually still, that's the only application that's still open. We're still looking for a few food trucks.
Gotcha.
But we still got a couple great ones that are coming, like Southern Creole. Not sure if you heard of him, but Chef L.A. is one of the most famous culinary trained chefs in the state. Gerald Grunig of Acadiana, he has reviewed him. So if he likes it, then it's good food. He makes the famous crack wings, he calls it.
Okay.
And they're addictive.
Come
the name is correct.
Okay.
I can't wait for those.
Great.
So that's just one of the many good food vendors.
Okay, great. Sounds good. And I do want to ask you about the celebrities. Now, tell me who they are so folks will be familiar with who's coming.
Sure. So our theme this time, it was Mario last time. This time it's Five Nights at Freddy's, based on the video games and the recent hit movie. So with the 1-year anniversary of the 10-year anniversary of the games approaching, we're going to have Joseph Poliquin and Christian Stokes from the featured film. We'll have Andy Field, one of the famous voice actors from the video game series. And we're also going to have on Sunday only Billy Slaughter. He has done over 100 films, and he was featured in the Twisted Metal video game adaptation TV series.
Okay.
So a lot of different people. And then we also have some famous wrestlers coming. We have local legend Mustang Mike coming, of course, to support his people. We'll have another wrestler that hasn't been announced yet, and then we'll also have Carnage Perez, who he's done a lot of Southern wrestling in other states. So this will be like his debut in Louisiana, pretty much.
Awesome. Well, you just covered it all. But speaking of covering it all, because we talked a lot about video games, what about like the action figures, comic books, and you mentioned my favorite, vinyl records. Yes. So are you going to, what about if I have, let's say, my brother, I need to get my hands on this, but he has a lot of old He-Man action figures. Would it be possible if I were to bring some and say, hey, could you give me an appraisal, or would you want to trade, sell? I mean, do they do that on site?
Oh, absolutely. We encourage attendees to bring in trade-ins to any of the vendors that are reselling product. They honestly might find something from you or your brother that they're just dying to get their hands on.
Oh, yeah.
So definitely bring in some trades.
Castle Grayskull. I used to use that thing to do my karaoke. It was not used for what it was intended for. I can tell you that much. It was just one of the best inventions I can tell you. As a girl, I really loved it.
Absolutely.
What about contact? How can folks get in contact with you?
Sure. You can call us at 985-628-5186 for a quick contact, or you can go to 985-628-5186. Or you can also reach us at LouisianaRetroConvention.com, or follow us on Facebook or Instagram at just Louisiana Retro Con.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much for coming back. We really
My pleasure.
enjoyed this. I think the community is really going to really enjoy this over 2 days. And what is the admission? There's an admission, correct?
Yes, so admission has slightly increased. Saturday is $15 a ticket due to how big it's gotten, and Sunday is $10. Now, if you want to come both days, it's only $20 for weekend pass.
Not bad at all. Thank you again for coming out. We shall see you guys another time. Make sure to tune in again and stay locked on KWBJ, the voice of the coast with yours truly. Welcome back to the Voice of the Coast. Again, I am your host, Danica Long, and this lovely gentleman, you guys may know, is Rick LaBouve. We have always called him Ricky, but in this capacity, as an author.
I am an author now, Danica.
Yes, Rick LaBouve.
Times
Welcome
change.
back, sir.
Happy to be back.
Yes.
Not much has changed in 6,000 years.
Ah, that's about right. Well, the owner saw that one. So you went from KWBJ to now you're in Lafayette,
Yes.
KLFY, and now KTC.
I'm at KTC right now,
Yes,
yes.
and you are a director.
I am a director. It took a whole bunch of bumps in the road to get there, but I am a director there.
Yes. And speaking of bumps in the road, we're going to get to some of that as far as your road to being an author, self-published author, and can't wait to hear more about your story. So, of course, as you guys can kind of see here, we have 2 books. First and foremost, congratulations to you for having
Thank
2
you.
books under your belt. You have Bad Moon Rising and also Urban Legends, and a part of a series called A Winter's Tale. And I can't wait to talk more about it because when I looked at the cover, I was like, this gives me this like supernatural Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibes, and I knew that was your thing.
Oh, that was always my thing.
Back in the day when you were with
1997, fell in love with Buffy, and then the Supernatural after that.
Yes. So what's the genre for your writing?
It really is a supernatural, and it's also more of a mystery thriller. Because while there are monsters and scares and all kinds of stuff, there is a mystery behind it. Because like in the first one, there's this cult that is kidnapping and killing children. So Alex and his team had to figure out who's doing it and why, and stop them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now you've started the whole premise of the book. So kind of take us along to where this series is going.
Okay, to start out with, the whole entire series is about Alexander Winters, because Alexander stands for the Defender of Mankind. So that's why I kind of went with that name.
Okay.
And when he was in college, him and 3 of his friends went inside a Native American cave for a school study. And he found a secret chamber room, and it gave him and his friends powers. And they used these powers to stop the supernatural, like monsters and demons and the other forces of darkness. And it picks up like 8 years later in Bad Moon Rising, because everything in the cave happened when they were in college.
Okay.
And they're adults, they're fighting crime in their own ways, going all over the country, fighting evil. And this case, the first one comes and hits closer to home.
Okay.
Because it's the daughter of a friend of his from high school.
You know, I talk to authors all the time, and I say, especially for those who are fiction writers, do you find yourself in the book, in the characters?
Oh, I am one. If you know me, Danica, you know my jokes, you know my humor. That's pretty much Alex.
Yes.
Of course, he's more braver and taller and better looking, but such as it is.
No, that's quite all right. So it sounds like they're really, it's an adventure.
Yes,
that
it's an
they're
adventure
embarking
series.
on,
Yeah.
and it's a group of individuals
Yes.
who are involved in this. And now this next one, the third book, it's called Time After Time. You're
Yes.
working on it currently,
Yes.
and you're expected to be out sometime in October.
Hopefully.
Right?
Maybe
But
sooner.
you're on a roll. So the first book, you put this out in May of 2023, which is Bad Moon Rising, followed by Urban Legends, which is only, to me, just a few months later, which was in December. That's remarkable.
You
that
can blame
were
my
able to
mother for
put
that.
into.
She was harping on me the entire time. I need the new book. I need the new book. What's happening? I need to know what happens.
That's right. Well, obviously that means it's good, right?
Yes, because I love my mom, but she hates this kind of genre, but she loved the books.
Awesome. Okay. And moms can be pretty critical,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So we have this, and I got to say kudos to another local author, and that is Rhonda Dennis,
Yes.
who actually kind of put the spark in you. This all started in 2012. Now, you were here
Yes, I
at
was here at the time.
KWBJ at that time, but she had a writing workshop. Take me there.
Yeah, she was here for at the time with Parish Perspectives, doing talking about her books and the writer's seminar that she was going to do in about a week. So I decided, you know what? I did a lot of writing. I did some fan fiction. I did some live journal role-playing stuff. I really wanted to flesh myself out as a writer. And I attended the seminar, and at the end of the seminar, she showed different pictures, and we had to write a short little story on that. And I started writing it first. I'm like, okay, starting to get the idea in my head. And as she was saying time was up, I wrote it, and basically what I wrote became the centerpiece for Bad Moon Rising.
Awesome. And just like that, you're an accomplished author. We're going to take a moment, but we'll tell you how to get the book, where you can go to get it. So make sure to come on back right here on The Voice of the
Stay
Coast.
tuned.
Welcome back to The Voice of the Coast. Again, let's get right into it. Rick LaBouve, accomplished author, I'd like to say.
Accomplished.
Yes, I mean, you have 2 books in your series
Yes.
and 1 more to go. And I'm just curious, because there are 3 books in the series, let's just
So
say
far.
I pick up, okay, so far. We pick up on book 2. Do you leave each of the books on a cliffhanger, or do you, and also do you do any type of recapping so that if I pick up book number 2, I'll know what's going on?
Yes, because the way I ended Bad Moon Rising, Alex goes into a psychiatric hospital, and it sets up the main villain of the entire series and what he's trying to accomplish. And it kind of picks up at the beginning where there's no time off in urban legend. You find out what his goal is. And I'm going to spoil everyone because it's not that big of a spoiler. The main villain is trying to unleash the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Each book will contain him unleashing a horseman, and because eventually he wants to become a power called the Darkness. And each book will have a special thing going on as he tries to accomplish that goal.
Gotcha. Well, I can tell you one thing. When you write fiction, you've got to do some research. Have you been, really researching a lot of this? I mean, you mentioned the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot of research, even down to the name Alexander and what does it mean? So.
Yeah, because I had to, because at the beginning of Urban Legends, Alexander is in a psychiatric hospital. I had to do a little bit of research on how they work and the type of activities that they would do, and I tried to be as true to it as I could while taking some liberties for the fiction.
Gotcha.
And I do try to do slight recaps because I like shows like Arrow and The Flash. At the beginning of every episode, it's like, my name is Barry Allen. I am the fastest man alive. And he goes into explaining who he is, how he got his powers, and kind of bring you up to date with what's going on.
Gotcha.
And I try to do that at the beginning and interweaving in the actual story itself things that have happened in the past.
Well, you've given us quite a lot to go on. Where can we buy these books? Where can they purchase them?
They're all available on Amazon.com and the Kindle. So you just search my name, Rick LaBouve, with the titles, Bad Moon Rising or Urban Legend, and it'll pop right up.
Now, with this, like I mentioned, you have to go through some type of research. But for you, and we know that now you're working with another news station in Lafayette, but there were some moments in your life, right? There was kind of a dark period.
Yeah.
And they say sometimes you got to go through a little dark period to kind of bring
There
out
was
that
some bumps.
creative side.
Yeah, well, when I was trying to outline Bad Moon Rising, I was only part-time at KTC, and eventually I was able to be full-time. But as I was actually doing the full writing of Bad Moon Rising, I found out my position as graphics operator would no longer exist. So I had to try to apply to be in the director position, which 4 months later I got, so I was good. And then when I was working on Urban Legend, because it's always happening when I'm writing these books, I found out I was going to lose my job again because they were reducing the amount of directors. So while all this is going on, I'm trying to not stress out that my entire life is about to implode. I took a copywriting course to figure that's maybe something to, because I like writing, and figured out a way to get paid for it. And when I was doing that, I was just trying to bring myself up to try to keep my mind off of everything that's going on. That's how I was able to write Urban Legends fairly quickly.
Awesome. It was a lot, it was motivation.
Motivation.
Yes, yeah. And that helps. And with that, I mean, would you give any advice, or what advice would you give to people who are prospective authors?
First of all, I'd say always have it's good to work off an outline, because even though I don't stick to the outline, it gives you an idea of where you want to go from start to finish. Mm-hmm. And you can just find ways to veer off course, but kind of find your way to how you want to end it. Mm-hmm. And I'd also say 100% find a way to market yourself, because that's the problem I have right now, because right now it's just friends and family that are happening to read it. Yeah. I know I need a bigger base, so I'm going to try to give some local bookstores and stuff like that to try to push it out, maybe go to Comic-Con and try to have my own little booth there.
Yeah. Well, you're a local guy, and we love to see our locals flourish and do well. So, Berwick native, that is. Yeah. So, congratulations to you again. You can find his books on Amazon, also on Kindle. Check him out. Thank you so much, Rick LaBouve.
Happy to be here, Danica Foley.
Yes.
Long.
That's it. That's right. Put that long on it.
Put a long on it.
Yes. Well, thank you so much again. Congratulations. And we are looking forward to Time After Time, the third book in the series.
All right.
All right. Take care. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.